everyone, how are you doing? Sorry it's been such a long time since I've done a vlog, but my dad's been over here, and anyone who does the vlogging will tell you that you have your ups and downs when it comes to having the motivation to do them sometimes. So if you can like the video and please subscribe to my channel, that will be hugely appreciated, and it does give me more of a push to do it. The more activity on my channel, the more worth it is for me to sit and do these vlogs for you. So today we're going to talk about the cost of immigrating to Canada, moving to Canada, and what they don't tell you on the website, or what you don't think about. So today I'm kind of base it around PR and or moving on a work permit. I will link all the websites that you can find specific fees on within the description. Please go on there and have a look. Please make sure you're doing your own research as well. The IRCC website has an abundance of information on there for you. There's a search bar, so if you can't find what you're looking for, type a keyword in and 9 times out of 10 it'll bring it up for you. So I've got notes. I have 3 screens on my computer, so I will be looking around, and that's only because I'm looking what I am reading. So we're going to kind of start where you don't think, or what you forget to think about when you're immigrating to Canada. So I mean, you've got the basics, you've got your fees for like your visas and your applications and things like that, and you know, people remember to take those into consideration. But what you don't take into consideration is the cost of the move itself and getting set up and getting started in a whole new country. So if you're like myself, you would have sold absolutely everything you own, buy a couple of suitcases of clothes or any sentimental items that you're bringing with you, and you're coming with nothing. So you are starting from scratch. So what you need to think about is where you're going to live when you get here. It's not as simple as finding a property dead quick. It's not a thing over here. At the minute we have a huge housing crisis. It's a very competitive market. If you come to BC, you can't pay X amount of fees. In fact, you're not supposed to pay X amount of fees up front for anywhere in Canada, but some people do. So you can try the route where you offer, you know, 6 months rent in advance to try and get you above all those other people that are applying. You can look at putting a profile together for a rental. This is all covered in another vlog that I did, so I'm not going to go too much into detail, but you need a plan for when you get here. So whether it's an Airbnb for 2 months or so, that's a big cost for you. You need to look at how much you need for that. Usually around about £5,000 would cover it. This is a year ago, so I haven't looked at an Airbnb since then for a long-term rental. I know that my mum rented one for, I think, 2 weeks, and she paid about £2,000, so maybe, yeah, a bit more than 5. So yeah, you've got to think about where you're going to be living and put things in place for that. You then got to think, if you manage to land a rental, you've got to put a deposit up. If you've got a pet, there's also a pet deposit you've got to add to that, and then you need to pay for your first month's rent. Some places ask for the first month's rent and the last month's rent. So, you know, usually if you're renting, say, a 3-bedroom property in BC at the minute, I think it's around about three grand plus. So that's almost 10 grand straight up out of your pocket, Canadian. You then got to think about setting up things like your bills. So you need internet. That I'll tell you what I'm paying, and then you can kind of get an idea. I am on Vancouver Island. I am in British Columbia, and we're a lot milder compared to everywhere else. So obviously, depending on where you go, it depends on how your gas and electricity and things like that go. I am on natural gas, and I am on hydro. So apparently that's cheaper than well, it will be then if you've got, say, I don't know, oil type of heating. So anywho, so internet, so we pay 84 a month. We got that on offer, and that's unlimited, and that is the faster one, not the fastest, but the one down from the fastest, and it is fibre. Mobile, you obviously know that mobiles aren't cheap over here.
if you do what we did, so we went with Sure internet, it makes your mobile cheaper. So my mobile I should be paying about $75 pre-tax a month for it. I pay 40. My son's mobile should be 15 a month because that's just texts and calls, no internet, and I pay 5. So yeah, so we've got that on there. Then my daughter's got hers, she's got the same as my son, and then my husband's got the same as what I've got. You've got to think about connection fees. So here, for internet, for phone, for anything, you have a connection fee, and it's usually around about $45-50 to get connected, although with the internet they send it in a box, you stick it in the wall, but it is what it is. Water, you've got to think about costs of what you're going to be spending on water. We spent $85 a month, but that is for water and garbage collection. Now in Canada, you've got to pay for garbage collection separately. It's not government run, it's privatized. So you've got to remember to set up the garbage. Don't forget to set your mailbox as well, because that's not automatic here. It doesn't cost you though. So activation fees and food shop. So we've had massive shock. I've talked about the cost of food shopping, so please do go and look at that. It's over a 3-part vlog, so please do go have a look at that. When you're trying to work out what your money is weekly, it's super important. If you go on to Walmart Canada or Canadian Superstore and do kind of like a dummy run for a food shop, it'll give you an idea what your weekly would be. Just make sure you add a buffer on there, because you'll need it. I think we spend on average around about $350 a week for a family of 5 on grocery shop, compared to what it used to cost me in the UK. I used to pay about £70 to £90. It's a big difference. So that's that part. If you are coming over here when you first arrive, what are you going to do about transportation? Canada's not well known for fantastic public transportation. I know on the island we don't have trains. We do have bus, but they can be sporadic and they choose when they want to come. So if you're hiring a car, you need to factor that in as well to your moving costs. If you are trying to get one on finance, it's very difficult when you first move here. My husband was here for 3 months before we went for ours, and we got one on lease hire. And we put a substantial deposit down. I think we put about, was it 1,000 to 2,000? I can't remember. We put a big deposit down on it. And then I think we only paid, I think the car was about 10 grand. Now the mileage over here is not a thing. When you're looking at a car, people back home, I always used to check out what the mileage was. It doesn't seem to be a thing here. I think our car has currently done just over 250k. I'm not too sure what the conversion, I think it's around about 150,000. For a petrol engine, that's quite high. Luckily, we're in the process of buying a spangly new one. So, yay. So factor that in as well. So what we've got so far is the cost of accommodation when you arrive and when you're going to be living here. Bills, getting set up and getting started if you're not in an Airbnb when you start off. But, you'll need a mobile, because if you want to find a job, you'll need a mobile. Shopping, car hire, if you're bringing your dogs with you, factor that cost in. I think it cost us around about £800 to bring 2 dogs. We did it ourselves through Air Canada, and we did have 3 nights in Air Pets near Heathrow Airport with them, because we went down really early, but that was purely because there were so many bloody restrictions in place when we moved. We moved during COVID. Not the best idea, but it is what it is. Flight prices. Now, a lot of people are looking at one-way flights. Don't do that. I'm a travel agent. I'm telling you now, it is more expensive to book a one-way trip than it is to book a return. Book a return trip, and when you get here, you've got to take that first trip first, and then you can or do a no-show like we did, and you can claim the cost of your taxes back for the return flight. So you'll be saving a lot of money just to book a return, and you can also claim the cost of that return flight's taxes back. Or if you do what I did, is get vouchers for the cost of the return flights, which means that I've got around about, how much? I don't know, I've got a lot of vouchers for I've got a decent, I think around about 1,400, I think it is Canadian dollars is what it equates to to cover the return flights. And they also gave me 400 because they've taken so long to send me the vouchers, so I complained. So I've got an extra 400, so it wasn't so much, as much as that originally. So yeah, cheaper to book, return, claim back your either taxes or ask for vouchers for the cost of return flights so you can use them at a later date, and that will like make things cheaper for you. Also, a big thing I recommend doing is bringing any medications that you've got can get your hands on in the UK, because they're expensive here. I literally brought my whole entire medication kit when I came over. I didn't chuck anything away, and thank God I did, because I've needed a lot of them, and it saved me a lot of money. I mean, even paracetamol here for a box of it is around about $8 compared to the 25 pence you used to in the UK. We're having a bit of an issue with getting hold of children's Advil and Tylenol, which is like Calpol. So if you can bring your own Calpol with you, that will help you out, especially when you get started. I keep asking my parents to bring things like that over for me, because it is difficult to get hold of them, and if you ever see them in the store, they're stupidly expensive. They're like $15 at least for a small bottle, which you can get for like £3 in the UK. So bring plenty of that with you as well. When it comes to PR, you need to factor in that you've got to pay for English tests. You'll have to pay for medicals once you've got an invitation to apply. You need biometrics doing, police checks. So that's more money that you need to factor in. There is costings for each of these things on the IRCC. I can't speak today. IRCC website. Let me see if I can pull them up for you. Currently, I'm on the page for application fees. So if you're going for PR, they have gone up. You are looking at paying 1,365. That includes your right of permanent residency fee, and that's per adult. So for yourself and for your spouse, you pay that each. For your independent child, it's 230 per child. So yeah, that's quite a bit. But I'll put the link on down here. If you are looking at, let me just close that down. So that's going through the express entry. We've got so biometric fees are $85 per person, or if you book it as a family, so 2 or more people, it's 170. If it's 3 or more people, you pay 255. So they do cap that a little bit. When it comes to biometrics, we worked out our medicals to be about 1,600. Having them done in Canada. Luckily, we don't need them at the minute, because the Canadian government has temporarily stopped them for anybody that's applying from inland on certain visas. So we don't need medicals done. Thank God, that saves us a bit of money. Police check, you can pay I think it's like £50 and have it sent within, I think it's 11 days, or you can pay, I think it's 95 from memory. I have not done it for a while, and have it done within, I think, 48 hours. So you've got that costing what people don't realize that you need to have. So if you're going for just a work permit, you'll need to have your police check, see ACRO police report done, and you'll need to have your biometrics done. The rest of it's more PR, and it just depends on which type of, I can't speak today, visa you're coming in on, depending on the cost. Again, you find that on IRCC. My video today was more about what you forget. People kind of go, oh, it's only this much to come on an IEC. Oh, you'll need $2,500 per person as proof of funds. I promise you now, you need more, or you need to have planned well ahead and booked your car hire, booked your Airbnb, and figured out the cost of things. I've got friends that have come over here with the bare minimum, and they've all said you need more money than what the 2.5 is. I mean, especially now, because it's not as cheap to get set up with a property as it used to be. a couple of years ago. So the more money you've got in your pocket, the better off you'll be. Plan for the things you don't plan for. So you're better off having more and not needing it than not having enough and then needing it, because then you'll be up poop creek. So yeah, that is really everything that we've found when we came over here that we didn't think about. Oh no, but also kitting yourself out. So if you come over here with nothing like we did, you need to look at the cost of kitting yourself out. Now on the island we don't have an IKEA. There is one on the mainland, but you're looking at a $200 round trip in the car to get to IKEA, and then how much can you actually fit in a car? And if you're pulling a trailer, I think it's a bit more, but I've not done that yet. So what we did was we did it on Marketplace, and we managed to get a lot for really good prices. So I settled, I think, about $2,000 to get the basics. So we went over that didn't work, so that was stupid, because my mattress cost us $450. The kids' mattresses were, I think it was about $250 for Charlie's, because his is a twin bed, and then the girls have both got queen beds, which are double beds in the UK. No, they've got double beds. Yeah, they've got double beds. I've got a queen bed, which is a king bed in the UK. Their double is yeah, you get me. So yeah, they've got doubles, and they were like 300 each, 250, 300 each. Then we got bed frames all second hand. I don't know, you've probably seen my bed in a previous video of when I did the house tour. I only paid $150 for that. That was a bargain. It's a beast. I need a freaking ladder to get on the thing, but it was a bargain. What else? Clothes. If you've just moved here and you're living in some of the colder places, you need to make sure you have the correct footwear and coats, because the stuff that you buy in the UK is just non-comparable to what you get out here, and it's not so cheap. If you live where I am, wet gear, you need wet gear. Freya goes to school because they go out, rain, you know, or shine. It doesn't matter to them. That if it can be absolutely chucking it down buckets, they still go out. So Freya goes to school in the winter, obviously, in waterproof trousers and a ski jacket, but it's completely water resistant, thank God. So you can get salopettes and a coat over here for a kid that goes down to -26, I think it is, for like $50 from Walmart. Frey doesn't like the salopettes because they are too heavy to walk in, so we bought her a fleece lined waterproof trousers as well, and they cost about $30. So yeah, I don't think it's too bad for that. I've just paid $100 for a coat, winter coat, that takes you down to -26. I think we only had -14 last year, which is quite mild compared to everywhere else. And that's with wind chill. So yeah, lots of things to think about. I think you kind of like look at the basics. I know we did. We came over with £16,000 and we needed more. We managed. And if I'd been working when we arrived, but obviously if you've watched my other vlogs, you'll know the drama that we had with my work permit when we first came over. We would have been okay, but we did eat through all our savings and had to start all over again. But it is what it is. We're doing all right. So the more money you have, the better off you'll be. So people that are in a rush to get here without doing the saving, wrong thing to do. It's not a cheap country. Yes, bills are cheaper where gas and electric are concerned. Where I'm from, rent is definitely not cheaper. I'm from North Lincolnshire, South Yorkshire border way on East Riding. And my rent was £450 a month, and it's now it's gone up because they're allowed to increase it yearly. I think it's 266 something is my rent here. Plus the 85, that's included with the 85 for the water and garbage. Yeah, I pay 50 for I think it's electric, gas, one of the two, and then 28 for the other one. So for gas and electric a month, I'm paying $78. I pay 84 for internet. I pay 40 for my phone, 5 for the kids' phone. Nathan pays stupid for his phone, but that's his problem. We pay 105 for car insurance, but we've got 15 years of driving experience taken into consideration over here. We have obviously the groceries. On top of that, I have the dogs. We've just had their vaccinations done. To have vet care in Canada is so expensive. So the boosters back in the UK was what, 35 quid. I used to pay 35 per dog for the boosters annually. It's cost me 90 for the consultation per dog. They wouldn't do it in one. And then the vaccinations, they've had the same ones they have in the UK, plus they had rabies, but they do last 3 years, so okay, maybe it's not so bad. But that came to almost $400 for my boosters, but they do last 3 years. They do last 3 years. We're having another one done on the 31st, actually, for them. It's something, hold on, let me go get it. Puffed out now. Okay, so it's leptospiria. It's something that they have over here. This is it. Let me see that there. Probably can't see very well. I'll pop it up here. And if you want to know more about it, please let me know. It's something that the dogs can get and can kill them. From standing water. It's passed on with like raccoons and things like that. So we've decided to go and get it done because it'll be cheaper than fixing the issue. It's $50 per dog. So we're having that done on the 31st. Because it's done within the same month, that they're not charging us the $90 per dog fees for the appointment. So yeah, I did think I had something else. Oh, glasses and teeth. I don't look like I've got teeth, but I do. I'm just really small. So I don't know if I told you, but I lost my freaking glasses when I was doing paddleboarding on the lake. Boo-hoo. I went to Costco. Costco's so cheap, and they're designer. I say cheap, it cost me $550 for 2 pairs of glasses. I've got these, which are transitions, and I've got another pair which has got the blue filter on for working. But we have got vision cover through Nathan's work, so then it was reimbursed back to me, so I paid nothing specifically, but they were $550 for 2 pairs, and the cheapest place to go is Costco. So if you've not got that benefit part of your job, then you just need to keep that in mind as well. Kids in BC anyway are free for eye examinations. The eye examination for me was $100. Again, I claimed it back on $130. I claimed that back. Teeth, we've got dental cover through Nathan's work, but we still had to pay 20%. If anybody follows me on Instagram, you'll know, or Facebook. You don't really follow me much on Facebook because I don't show much on there, but on Instagram, you'll know that Freya was in for a dental procedure. She's absolutely terrified of dentists, so she had to have a cap put on one of her teeth. It looks like she thinks she's a gangster rapper now because it looks like a silver tooth, but it's just a cap that goes on it. So they had to knock her out. That was $570. Now we had to pay that out of pocket because it was a procedure done at the hospital, and then we've claimed that back, so we'll get all bar 20% of that back. Charlie's had quite a bit done because his shit with managing his teeth. So he's had some fillings done. They cost $1,500. Again, we only paid 20%. That's actually with our local dentist, and for stuff like that, they claim directly to our insurer, and we just pay the little bit to them. So for dental, you just got to remember that you do have to pay. If you don't have the dental cover, make sure you get a job with dental cover, because otherwise it's a lot. I think our first visits, because they do x-rays and everything when you first go to the dentist here, was $400 each, and that's just for a checkup with with x-rays. Yeah, fill-ins, as I said, Charlie's £1.5 grand, and he's had 4 done, I think. So if you can't get a job with dental, make sure you've got plenty of money in the bank to cover you. If you're coming over here and you were silly enough not to get medical insurance, you're up the Swanee, make sure you've got medical insurance to cover you for the 3 months, at least in BC. On what we've come on, we needed the 3 months cover, and then our health cards kicked in after that. It doesn't cover you for everything. There is extended healthcare benefits for some jobs that cover you for some of that. Thankfully we have that, because we've seen the chiropractor. You get naturopath, there's another type of one that's absolutely freaking useless, and I don't even know why they have that. Yeah, so that covers you for anything that they don't. We also have cover for prescriptions, so we don't pay for prescriptions because it's part of Nathan's benefit package, that it's covered by them, thankfully. So, yarp. I think that's everything. It's Thanksgiving weekend. It's our first ever Thanksgiving. I'm going to vlog that. I'm also going to vlog some Halloween fun. So hopefully my Thanksgiving vlog will be out this week, and then Halloween fun will be at the end of the month. We've got lots and lots planned. I'm going to scare the shit out of my older kids. We're going to go to a horror house and a maze. I'm so going to video that. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. So it was nice to catch up with you guys. Kind of missed chatting to my phone, but it's great talking to you guys in real life. If you don't follow me on Instagram already, please come along and follow me. You can message me direct on there all day long. Just remember that the time difference for me, I'm 8 hours behind the UK. So when you're messaging at me at 10 in the morning, it's not 10 in the morning for me. So yeah, if you don't get an answer back straight away, that's why. And yeah, lots of plans. We've got Thanksgiving today. We've got Halloweeny. Lots of plans for Halloweeny. Then everything's changing for Christmas already here. Actually, we're on the 10th of October, and we're almost at our 1-year anniversary. So yeah, on we arrived in Canada so we travelled to Canada on the 12th of October last year, and landed in Vancouver. Had a night there before we come back over here. So yeah, 1-year anniversary. A lot has happened for us. We're having an amazing time. We would never change anything. We've learned a lot. We've got our PMP nomination, so we're going through that at a minute. Hopefully there's about 2 to 3 month turnaround on those, so we should have that, fingers crossed, by Christmas. Then we'll add that, once we've got a certificate for that, we'll add it to our EE profile, which just gives us 600 more points. So fingers crossed, guys, we'll have some news in January or February, and fingers crossed that we get an ITA for PR. Anywho, gotta go. So great chatting, guys. I'll catch you up. Remember, subscribe to my channel, please. Thank you. And like my videos. Bye.